What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little, field level edition. I have a very special guest in the studio today, AJ Rompza, Chicago's own basketball guru, mindset guru, just an overall human guru, all positivity. Everything he does, he goes at it full go. Former point guard for the Whitney Young Dolphins, went on to play UCF. Started 3 of the 4 years. Big playing time regardless.
Started off 4 years. As a freshman, I don't know if people know, but my freshman year, I was all freshman team with Tyreke Evans, who was in the NBA.
There you go. Yeah, dude, Tyreke is a legend.
And I went from I'll never make my freshman B team in high school to playing Division I, hitting game winners.
Look at AJ. He already on the story.
And not like in a cocky way. I'm just saying my whole thing is telling people believe. And
yeah.
That's what I do now is just going around telling kids, like, go believe in yourself. No one believed in me as a young kid. Not, my family. They'll tell you, like, oh, I believe in you. But no one believed in me. No one believed in my goals of playing basketball. So I go tell these kids, like, go out and go do it. No one's going to stop you. No one can get in your way if you're really that focused.
Yes, and we're going to – everything my man just jumped into right there is what we're going to touch on for the next, I would say, hour. We're gonna get into some things.
I'm here with you. It doesn't matter. Hour, 2 hours, whatever you want. I'm here.
I love it. Let's jump into it. Where are you from in the city? Mm-hmm. And then we're going to kind of get into who you are as a person, what motivates you. Kind of that whole that was so perfect because it was a little like clip, like a preview of just who you are. You know what I mean? So I like that.
I'm on your show. You tell me. You ask the questions. I'm answering. There is no boundaries right here. No, whatever you ask me, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna be straightforward. But I grew up on the north side of Chicago, born and raised Chicago. My heart's here. It's always been here. I went to school in UCF in Orlando. That's like my second home. But my heart's just here. That's why I try and do so much to the city and to see violence and all that. It kills me because I was born and raised here, so I want to keep giving back. And north side of Chicago is where I'm at, Addison and Pulaski, kind of like Old Irving Park. Yeah. That's where I grew up at.
Yeah, no doubt. Yo, quick tidbit.
Uh-oh.
The least you could do was come on the show because I've spent many a dollar at Burwood Tap and didn't know it was going in your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's why you look familiar.
Yo,
So second oldest bar in the city. My grandfather opened in 1933.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because I am honest, 5 years ago when I came back from college, broke my foot in my first professional workout, came back. My brother was going through a really tough time with drugs and just a tough time in life. My dad was really sick. I wanted to put my dreams on hold of basketball. I said, I don't like seeing them like this. We're the only 3 guys in the family. I have 3 other sisters. So I put it on hold. I put my basketball dreams on hold. I never had a work ethic outside of basketball. I didn't know how to work. And I kind of just got thrown into the fire. I said, I want to help my brother. I want to help my dad. So my girlfriend at the time, this was 2012, 2013, she helped me. She was a big reason to really pick me up when I was down. You got to think about it. We'll get more into it, but I just came from playing in front of 10,000 people, flying on Michael Jordan's private jet, going on vacation with them, no one really saying no to me, anything I wanted, to now living at home with my mom and not having anything. So she was a big reason that picked me up. But we took over the bar, and we took over it. We did everything from paying the bills there was nobody but us. We quadrupled business, which is pretty crazy. We turned it into a top 2 bar in the city. It's always been there. Like I said, it's been there, but we just took it up another notch. We took it to a whole different level. And
it's funny because Burwood Tap is one of those spots where you were just like, let's just kick it. Let's go to Burwood, man. Let's do it. It's right there, and we would slide there all the time, bro. We'd have birthday parties. People would have birthday parties there. Like, we would play a little pool in that little middle section. Right, dude, it was a kicking spot. It is a kicking spot.
It's very chill. It's very chill, and people love it. It reminds them of their hometown. It reminds them of their college bar where you could go super dressed up. You could go in sweats and a shirt. It's however you feel. We welcome everyone. We want everyone to feel like home, but that's what people think it is. It's just like, I feel comfortable here. I love it. It's a good time. It's a good vibe. And we create that vibe.
That's the least you could do, bro. So, but
I got you.
Without you even knowing, you had to come on just because me and my homies have poured tons of money into Burwood Tap. So that's what's up. And I love that. That was like a little wake-up call. A little bit, maybe.
What?
Like coming home, like no more hoops, and now
I just got goosebumps when you said that. A little wake up call.
Kind of jump into the family biz and try to get it to a next little level.
And that's the thing. People don't realize, man, that they forgot to get the liquor license. They almost closed down. People don't realize that's kind of, I put my whole dreams on hold.
Right.
And I'll fast forward a little bit. Recently, as we say, family business, there's sometimes, me and my dad got into it. We tried to figure it out. I just took a little break from it. People, it's family and this and that, but I had to kind of focus on me. My entire life I've always focused on, and I still do focusing on everybody else. And, that time period, I wanted to help my dad. I wanted to help my brother, I kind of got lost in the mix of myself. I kind of got lost in the mix of AJ, and I came back from college. I jumped right into it. And I was just going for 5 years straight. And I'm not saying I was upset, but you get caught up in that, and sometimes when you step away from it, my passion, my love has always been basketball, right? I stepped away from it. I stopped playing to help other people, and now I want to get back into the training. I want to get back into helping kids go play basketball, go after their dreams, and that's what I want to do. I want to motivate them. So I took a little break from them, and my brother's there now, but it's like anything, man. People see the family business, they're like, oh man, you're so lucky, this and that. But I'm like,
that shit was a grind, dog. Big work.
Big work,
Big work.
I'd sleep probably 3-4 hours. I mean, I sleep 3-4 hours a night now.
Yeah.
But I'd work till 3:30 in the morning, close up, go to bed at 5:30, wake back up at 9:30, make sure everything was set. Like you said it from the get-go. That's why you said it perfectly. When I do something, I'm going to give it my all. That's why I didn't know much, but I said, man, I'm just going to give it my all. I'm going to try everything I can. I'm going to make this a successful place. We turned it into a top 3, top 4 bar in the city. I mean, that's hard to do for someone that never knew anything about a bar besides the hospitality industry that I learned in college.
No doubt. Especially with as many establishments are out here in the city, you know how many options you have? Like, yeah, that's impressive, bro.
It's crazy. And you create that vibe. People, you said it, people come in there to have a good time, and I cater to them. I want people to feel comfortable. I want people to come in there and be like, this is the spot, and that's what I did.
Yeah, no doubt. I've already seen it in the first 5 minutes we've been in here, but my next questions I got is kind of describe yourself, what's important, and then I want to talk about you being the youngest of 5.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into playing ball at Whitney Young and then moving on to UCF.
Me as a person, I want to see people do well. I want to see people succeed. I've always been like that my entire life. And I told you I got my book coming out in the next couple of months, but I think it started at a young age. My mom used to do Meals on Wheels, and she used to just go around, drop meals off to the elderly, make sure that they were good. But I fell in love with it, kind of. I fell in love with helping people. And I tell my mom all the time, like, when her and my dad got divorced at the age of 6, I moved with her. I said, a lot of my good tendencies are from you. A lot of my bad ones are from my dad. I won't tell him that. But I honestly just think that I've always been like that, man. As a leader, as a kid, I've always been the leader of the team. I've always wanted to see people do well. I've always wanted to put the pressure on me so that other people don't have that pressure or that sense of like, man, I lost the game. I never wanted people to feel like that. I've always wanted to take the blame.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of seeing people do well. For me personally, I know that I'll always be fine. I know that I'll always get it because I got that work ethic. I got that belief. But it's about installing that in others. It's about helping others who might not have that.
Well said. Now, when I was doing my homework, I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard good things. We had chopped it up before. I think, does a big part of what you just said come from being the youngest of 5? Does that kind of all mold from that? Like, you were the last one to eat. So, like, whatever, man. Let's make sure everybody else gets their shit. I'll figure mine out. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
you guys
really
all
good.
Eat, and then, but I'll get mine. Don't worry. I'll figure out where to get mine at. Like, don't worry about it.
I think that's something, I think that's really important, and I think that's a big part of it. Being the 5, I've learned from all their mistakes. I learned from the good things they've done. I learned from the bad things they've done. Kind of just picked them apart, asked them questions and learned from them. But just being the baby, I was kind of, as the 5th kid, you're kind of on your own. I tell people all the time, I was not saying my parents were bad, but I mean, as the 5th kid, I was at the YMCA all day. I was just out there.
Yeah, they're tired of parenting. By number 5,
I think I got a couple pictures. Like people, I was trying to do my book cover, and the lady who's helping me, she's like, "Hey, send me a bunch of pictures when you were younger." I was like, I think I got like 2 or 3. She's like, "No, seriously." At that point in time, you're the 5th kid. They're like, okay.
They're done parenting, bro.
They're done parenting. I kind of had to parent myself. Yeah. Like, AJ, what are you doing? You want food? Okay, go in the vending machine, get this and that. But honestly, it's...
And we say that in the most loving way.
Loving way. Never in a bad way.
This whole household, we just raise this whole household. He'll learn from his brothers. He'll learn from
that's exactly.
et cetera, right?
And my sister. I mean, my parents were always there for me. My parents were amazing. My brother and my sisters were always there for me. Every single one. I have a great relationship with all of them. But I think just being the baby, they always took care of me. They always made sure I was good. But I like to reciprocate that. I like giving back. I like, making people feel the way they made me feel.
No doubt. It's funny. So, left-handed, short guy, short white guy.
White guy, yeah.
That wants to hoop
and
play ball.
Please.
There's just
in Chicago.
Yeah. I laughed at the left-handed thing. That's almost just like some icing on the cake. Like, all right, he's already a little white dude. Like, we're gonna make him left-handed too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's make sure he can't open up anything with a can opener. Like, no, can't find any scissors.
Yep.
Like, we'll just throw that on top, and let's see if he can get over that too. Talk about you played ball. You just missed the state championship squad from Whitney Young in 2008, right?
Yeah, 2008 we lost to Mount Carmel. I still got bad feelings about that. But the best thing for me, in 2009 when they won it, I got a text from all of them, and they were like, "You're the reason we won it." Right. You got to remember, we had 7 Division I guys. We didn't have 1 or 2. I had 7 egos I had to take care of as the leader. I had 7 guys, including Marcus Jordan, including Chris Colvin, top 5 point guard, Ahmad Starks.
Big time. Chris Colvin's an Evanston guy.
That's what I was going to ask you before we even talked. One of my good friends, Chris Colvin. We had Anthony Johnson, top 10 shooting guard. Ahmad Starks, probably top 10 point guard. I mean, you got the big boys and trying to control everybody. Not control, but making sure everyone was happy.
That's the right way to say it.
I know. I wanted to take that back.
Guard.
Controlling everybody, making sure they were happy, making sure that they were getting the right shots. Then you add into the parents. Then you got the friends. Hey, how come you're only taking 5 shots? He took a bunch of bad shots. You got to keep that circle tight. And you add being the number 1 team in the state in Chicago. It's not like we're in a little town. They kind of play basketball. Chicago's the place where basketball is made. People say whatever they want. New York, this and that. Chicago has the most NBA players ever in the NBA.
Yes.
But do you want me to talk about what it was like? That mindset?
No.
Tell me.
We don't have to get too crazy into it, but I guess I do want you to talk about the mindset it takes to kind of go in there and be like, I can handle all this. Because every single person looking at you and people looking at you from afar, it's like, there's just no way.
Still to this day, there's no way.
Yeah.
Until they pull it up and they're like, you actually played. I really loved basketball. I really loved it. I was so passionate about it. I didn't care where I had to go. Like, everybody thought I was going to St. Pat's. Like, that was a big thing. Like, I had family. I had friends that were, upset. Like, man, you're supposed to go to St. Pat's. All your friends are going there. The coaches know you, this and that. But, I wanted to be different. I wanted to stick out. Imagine a white guy going into a public league. I grew up playing against Derrick Rose, grew up playing against Sharon Collins, grew up playing against guys, Patrick Beverly, Amon Shumpert. These guys are all NBA guys. These guys are at top. How do you become better in life? You play against the best. Of course I got killed. But my mindset was, I'm going to come back until I get where I want to get. Keep killing me. I'm going to come back even harder. It wasn't like I was like, oh, man, they killed me. Let me step away. I just kept coming back. And I'll never forget, I played with Chicago Ferrari. My first time, I went to the tryout. It was at St. Sabina, 67th and I think Wentworth. I go into the gym. My mentor takes me. We go in there. Everybody's playing. Derrick Rose on the other end. He's in 8th grade. I'm in 7th grade. He's down there windmilling. I walk in the gym. Ball's bouncing. It's kind of literally. I could do that on my Fisher Price rim, 5 feet, 6 feet. I thought I saw him. I'm like, who is that? They're like, oh, it's Derrick Rose. So I walk in the gym. Everyone just the ball stopped bouncing. Everyone just looks around like, all right, you're lost. I go up to the coach. He looks me up and down. Yeah, can we help you? My mentor's like, yeah, he's here to play. He wants to try out. Kind of a little laugh.
Yeah.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Man, I'm dead serious. All right, we'll get you in the next game. Kind of just, let's put him in, then you can leave right after that.
Yeah, man, after you get run off the floor, then you'll see that you
don't worry, we'll see that you can't play.
And you can go ahead and leave.
Man, that was, I brought the whole gym was kind of just in awe. Came down, crossover, pull up, talking trash. Oh, you guys aren't laughing now, huh?
Right.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You come to the south side, you're balling, and you're talking stuff to us? Like, who is this dude?
The funny thing, the funny thing about that type of stuff, at least and I'm going to keep it a buck. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're here for.
Yes, and with black folks, too, I didn't experience it as much as you just because I'm mixed.
Yeah.
But actually, let me take that all the way back. I didn't experience it anywhere close to how much you would have. Uh-huh. But I will say this because I've seen it with my own eyes. The initial, like, coach looking you up and down is like, yo, this dude is out of place. Yeah. But as soon as they see you can hoop and what you're about, it's complete acceptance. And that's
goosebumps. Look,
yes,
you can zoom in. That's goose. That's the first time that I ever felt like I was a part of a team. My entire life, I used to go to YMCA. I used to go everywhere to go play playgrounds. That's so weird. I'll put that in my book. That was the first time that I felt accepted on the basketball court.
The black folks would be like, oh, he can hoop.
Man, that's my boy.
He can hoop. Doesn't matter now. Like, oh, he can hoop now. Doesn't matter. I remember when we talked about John Shire.
Yeah.
And this is way back in like fam days.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this, I didn't know who he was, but people would talk about John Shire.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, he's a white boy. And then the people that had seen him hoop, they'd be like, listen, bro, that boy can hoop. And, and then once, like, it's funny because the white thing comes out initially, but as soon as they can hoop, that shit disappears.
Man,
and I wouldn't say it's like, the racism is a weird thing where, like, it's just, the thing about black folks, especially white people on the hooping floor, as soon as you get that respect, that white shit goes away.
Dude, I tell people all the time, man, that was the first time I ever felt accepted. And those guys that I played with, those became brothers. And the reason why I fell in love with basketball, I mean, I love the challenge, but there is no color. There is no hidden agenda. There's no race. You just said if you could play,
can you hoop or can you not hoop?
That's all we care about. I want to know if you could play, you're with us. If you can't,
you can be purple.
It doesn't matter. There is no color. Hoop, that's what I tell people. There is no color in basketball. If you can play, you can play. That's all it comes down to.
No doubt. That's awesome.
And I fell in love with it. I mean, I fell in love feeling like a part of the team when they were asking me, hey, you come back next week? I mean, it took my confidence to another level. And everywhere I had to go, I mean, even when I was in college, even when I was a starter, everywhere I went, oh, man, are you the manager of the team? Are you the water boy? No, I'm the starting point guard. Right. Stop. No, seriously. They'd look in the newspaper like, oh, you guys just played Tulsa. Oh, I apologize. Like, my entire life, I had to have that X on my back everywhere I went. You probably still walk into
pickup games.
Oh, you kidding me? I just went to L.A. I went to L.A. 3 weeks ago, and I was playing. My buddy was like, yo, come up there. It was all the celebrities, all like the TV people, everybody. And I was like, man, I got next, right? I'm the only one that's played college basketball in there.
Right.
I got next. They're like, all right. Next game goes around. I'm like, all right, I got next. All right, we got you. I think we're going to get you in the next game. Finally, I play. They're like, man, I didn't know you could play. I know. I told you guys I could play. Just let me get out here and play. Now that I go, because I don't play it, like, I'm not so serious about it. I do it for fun. I do it for love. So I don't, like, before I'd be like, man, wait till I get on the court. I'm going to kill all you guys. I'm going to bust your butt. Yeah. I'm going to go right at you just because you didn't think I could play. I'm going to embarrass you.
Yes.
So I take it a little bit easier now, and then I kill them still on the court, just not as much trash talking.
Of course. All right, we're going to get into what's important because you do hoops training.
Yep.
The Instagram page is Wild Motivational. Mm-hmm. It's all positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This question is going to like segue us into the hoops training, and I got a bunch of interesting questions. I'm looking forward to your take. Please, let's get it. Yeah. You kind of already touched on it, but why is training and working with the youth and stuff so important? It just goes back to the no self-doubt, getting that mental right and just trying to pass that on?
You just said it. When I train, my training is 90% mental. And that's part of the game. It's 90% mental, 10% physical. I do the best training. I know I have one of the best training programs, or I have the best things that I can put players through.
The regimen.
Because I've played before. And no disrespect to people out there, but these trainers now, it's like, man, did you play? Yeah, I played on my freshman team in high school. I've watched a lot of, like, for me, I've gone through it. I've hit game-winning shots. I know what it takes. I've been there. I've worked out with Michael Jordan. I've learned stuff from all the top players. I've learned stuff from the best guys in the world. And it has nothing to do with no throwing shade. I'm not throwing shade. I never throw shade at anybody. But for me, it's like I've been through it. I know what it takes. But the mental part of the game is the most important. I could have these kids do 1,000 drills. Hey, do all these drills. If you get into the game and you're still at, man, I'm worried. I don't know man, it's all mental. I tell them. So I'm teaching them this whole time. Yeah. And I tell them it's not just about sports. I want to see you succeed in life after basketball. I want to see you succeed in whatever you want. And that's what I'm teaching them every single day. So whether we're doing drills and this, that whole time that I'm teaching them, it's all mental. I'm giving them different things to think about. I'm giving them, make sure you believe in yourself. I don't care if you miss 20 shots. That next shot, you're going in. That's a shooter's mentality. And it just changes their whole perspective. Like, man, I never thought like that until I started working out with you, or I never figured that. But my whole thing, the training, I love it. But it's more the mental part that I really, really love. I love giving that to the guys.
Yeah. Aaron, pull this up for me. This is a perfect segue into this little video. This is Rompza.com.
Rompza.com.
Make sure you check it out.
And I'm just, like, I want people to understand it. People look at it with the Instagram and everything like, man, AJ, you got everything together. I am putting those pieces together every single day. Like, this has only been up for a couple of months. I got to add to it. Like, every single day, I'm just working on my brand. I'm working on me. I'm working on building this up. I want the long-term success. You know, people want this short. I want this right away. I'm starting to learn the patience. I'm starting to learn that what you put in is what you're going to get out, but I want it for the long term. It's not just about right now, if that makes sense.
100%, that makes sense.
I want the long term, long term.
Play. It's always the long term.
I want to be set up from 10, 15 years from now, and everything I did now. That's why people are like, man, you're crazy, dude. You don't sleep, you don't do this and that. 10 years, I'm gonna be more tired. I'm gonna have more stuff on my plate. I may have a family. I may have all that stuff I don't have right now.
Yeah.
So I might as well go and grind and go do what I want and go find how to get to that successful level every single day by just going at it every single day. Meeting different people. Doing different things, man. Step out your comfort zone.
I wanted to play this clip, if it'll load up for me. This is a clip of you talking to the kids, and it'll kind of give a little peek on what you just talked about.
Yeah. And this was, I know exactly what video this is. I was right in the heat of the moment. If we could pull that up.
Yeah.
I just got done with a workout, and there was like 25 kids that had a game, or they had a practice right next to them. Yeah. I was just in the moment, just talking to him, and if it plays, you'll be able to hear it.
Yeah. Hey, full screen this for me, Aaron.
Just go show how bad you want. That's all it is. Put the work in every single day, man. Every single day. I was just like you guys. I don't care what people tell you. You're too small, you won't make it. None of that matters, man. I'm telling you guys. I promise you. I'm just telling you. Look at the stats. Look, I started off 4 years in college. They told me I wouldn't make my freshman B team in high school. That's okay. I never listened. All I did was work every single day. That's all it's about, man. What you put in is what you get out. And I'm only telling you this because I've done it before. I'm only telling you it would be a waste if I did all that and I didn't give it back to you guys. It's a mindset, man. You come in here, today should be your best practice ever. They're trying to write scholarships. You don't have to score 40 points. It's the little stuff, man. Don't get caught up in the scoring and stuff. Do the little things. The little things make a big difference. You're not going to control every shot that goes in, right? You can't control that. What can you control? How hard you go, your leadership, being a good teammate, being the first one on the floor. That's what separates the winners from the ones that really want it, man. There's winners and there's a whole different level.
Let's go.
I'm hyped up. You ready to go get some shots up?
Let's go get some shots up. You know what I'm saying? No, but that's perfect because what's the biggest, when you're working with these kids, what's the biggest obstacle? Is it a mental obstacle? Obviously, everyone that walks in isn't going to be a hooper. What I have written down here is, in your experience, can that go-getter be taught? Can that inner dog be taught? Or do you, let's keep it 100. Like, you see a kid walk in, do you already know after a couple workouts, like, he's not going to make it. He's not hungry enough to go want to play in the public league and then go down, and he wants to score 40 a night but doesn't want to work to score 40 a night. And if he's not scoring 40 a night, he doesn't want to be a role player and go play at a smaller school. No, I know that type of thing.
I know exactly what you're saying. You see, it's like anything. You see all different types of players. You see ones that really want it. You see ones that come in. For me, it's not about the money. It's never been about the money. If you don't want it, I don't want to train you. I want ones that want to go get it. You got to remember, I was high school, I might have been 5'5", 5'6". Like, I had a dog in me that was never gonna quit. I mean, you ask my coaches, I was the hardest working player everywhere I went, every gym I went. I didn't care who was there, Derrick Rose, Sharon Collins, Patrick Beverly. You're playing in open gyms with these guys. Like, you're around greatness. You have to raise your level of play to be great, just to even be on a level with these guys. And like I said, when I train them, like there's a couple that might be, they might not really want it. And I'll send them a message like, man, do you really want this? Because a lot of the stuff I see now is these parents want it more than the kids. And I'm like, I don't want to train them. I want somebody that wants to work. I want someone that
So
really.
can you teach that though? Can you teach that? Like that dog, take yourself back to being the little shorty in high school,
Yeah.
and you're walking into off Wentworth, and you're going to the Ferrari tryout. Can you teach that to someone? Can you?
You gotta have a little
bring
that dog in you.
You gotta have it.
You gotta want it. I can sit there and push them, and I can motivate them. It's like the old saying: you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and give you all the tools. I'll say, listen, you're already taller than me. It has nothing to do with your height. Now let's just work on your game. Now let's help your mental game. But sometimes if you just don't want it, you just don't want it. You might find something else that you're more passionate about. But you gotta really like. To be great in life, not even in sports, but business and whatever it is, you got to want it. You got to have a little dog in you. You got to be like, I'm about to get dirty.
So
I don't care.
teach it?
You could teach it a little bit to a certain extent, if that makes sense. Maybe a little extent. I could put that in you. But at the
Wake
end,
them up a little bit.
I could wake you up. I could put that in you. I've woken up a lot of people. I've put that, I've installed that or instilled that mentality to like, go get it. There's just some people that you can do that all day long. There's just some that might not get it. And those are the ones that I try and push even more because I want them to get it. Because I want everybody, I give everyone a chance. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe you're having a bad day, this and that. But if it's a couple times that we've worked out and I don't see that you really want it, man, I gave you everything I got. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to waste my time because I got other kids. I got other people that will give me 100%. That will give me everything they got, that has that dog in them, that I might miss out on an opportunity because I'm sitting here working with you who doesn't even want it. Your parents want it more than you. You like the thought of it. You like the thought of, man, college scholarship, saving $40,000 a year, all the girls, man, I could have it all. But I don't really want to work at it. You ain't going to get anything. It's just like life. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. You got to work at it. I tell them, you got whatever. Every single day, people say, man, AJ, how'd you make it? I didn't make it 2 hours a day. I just go to the gym 7-8 hours. Huh?
Just live in the
How'd
gym.
you live in the gym?
Gym rat
AJ,
for
come
real.
home. Where you at? Somebody go find AJ. I know he's at the gym. Everywhere I was at the gym. That's what kept me out of trouble. You got to remember, we're city, my friends, you know, you got different crowds, this and that. That's what kept me out of trouble in the city. I mean, I had a passion. I had something that I wanted to do my entire life from the age of 3. But people say, man, you don't even know. I picked up a ball at the age of 3. I started walking with the ball, started dribbling.
That's
like
the energy, yeah.
That was my life. I didn't care. Like, you had 10,000 people tell me I couldn't do it. That's okay. I believe in myself. You don't have to believe in me. I'm going to keep showing you. And then when you make it, man, AJ, I knew you were going to make it. Yeah. Man, I knew you were. Yeah. I knew it. As a young kid, I used to always watch, no one believes in you until you make it. Until you make it, just like anything.
Just like anything. Let's talk about, so obviously you're training guys to get them, at least the older guys, prepping them to get to college ball.
Yeah.
I saw you talked about this at some point in either social media or another podcast, and I wanted to bring it here.
Bring it.
Talk about what kids need to know going into college ball and dealing with the NCAA, and then we'll kind of get into what's going on with NCAA now and your thoughts there.
You have to, when you go to college, people don't realize, man, they think it's just, I'm about to go play ball.
I think it's sweet, yeah.
Man, there's 5 a.m. wake-up calls. You got to run 2 miles. You miss class. You got study hall. Then after study hall, you got to go to tutoring. Then you got to go back and watch film with coach, right? Then you got meal. Then you got meal with the whole team. Then you might have to go to some other class. Now you got class projects. I mean, it's a full time. Why do you think you can't have a job in college? People say, man, you can't work. Legit, you can't work. Being a full-time athlete is your job.
You don't have the hours to work.
You don't have, right? You can't. There is no. You might be able to work for 2 hours. Where are they going to hire you at for 2 hours? Hey, come in for 2 hours. Right. They might because you're an athlete. We'll talk about that later. That's NCAA stuff.
Yeah, we'll definitely get in that.
But it's
yeah, the little wink, the 2-hour, 8-hour shift.
The thing is, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready to get down and dirty. You gotta be ready to. You're by yourself. There's nobody saying, "Hey AJ, your homework's due." Hey AJ, make sure you're on time.
I think that's the big thing. You're by yourself at the end of the day. Like, you need to take care of business. Mom's not waking you up to get ready to go to school.
You're grown now.
You're grown.
Grow up. You want to eat? Hey mom, the food. No, you got to eat. This is your time. And I tell people all the time, man, Whitney Young is one of the best high schools in the country. Not because I went there. Like, there's studies that show. Yes. If I wouldn't have went there, I don't think I would have been ready. I'm telling you, as an academic standpoint, as an athletic standpoint, because Whitney Young, they held me to such high standards. I mean, we wanted to be the best in everything, whether it was academics, whether it was sports, whether it was anything. We wanted the nicest bus. They held us to higher standards. The culture. We created a winning culture. And I felt like I was a big part of that. I mean, even Coach Ty would tell me, like, I was the reason why not the team was winning, but the program. We turned the program into a winning program. And it's still, I mean, they won 3 state championships. And they still, to this day, is like, AJ, you were the reason for that. But as far as to get back on the college tip, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to go. You gotta be ready to grind. You gotta be ready for no sleep. You gotta be ready to stay up. You gotta be ready to kind of lose a little of your personal self.
Your whole life is hoops.
That's all it is.
Your whole life is football.
Everything you do.
If you're there on a scholarship, you're there to play football in a little school.
You know that.
Yeah, this is not a joke.
This podcast, we're keeping it real. I'm going to keep it real. You know that.
Yeah.
You're there for one thing. You're right. You got to you're there for hoop, listen. Bro. They're not giving you $40,000 a year just to be mediocre at your sport, just to get by. No, they want the best of the best. You're focused on winning, cuz why? When you win, the coaches win, the school wins, more money. It's a money industry. People don't realize. Oh man, the kids are getting free scholarships. Industry. I know, but you guys just made $3 billion. Can we get like maybe 0.5% of that?
Yeah, that takes me right into my next question. So thoughts on the NCAA and not paying players, and kind of what's going on with this big court case and all the elite blue chippers getting pulled in with their families asking for houses and that type of stuff. Do you feel like that's just collateral damage from not paying them, and that's what comes with that?
There's a big reason. There's a big thing with that. I mean, especially now. I don't know if you know. I told you before. I got suspended 15 games my senior season. They said I was taking money from my mentor, who I knew since 7th grade. Now, whatever he was doing with the coaches and all that stuff in the school, and I have no control over that. But I know they said if you have a prior relationship with someone, then it's okay. I still put that in my book. Like I never throw anybody under the bus. But my thing is with these college kids, they get suspended. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, I'm 20 years old, sitting in an office with 15 people, with 6 lawyers. They take my phone records. They got all my bank accounts. I'm sitting there like, all right, who do I talk to? You don't know. And at that point in time, the school's trying to protect themselves, right? They're trying to make sure that they're good. They don't want to get in trouble. So it's like, as a young kid, who do I go to? There's so much stuff that goes on, man. It's tough too, because it's not always the kids. It's sometimes the parents. Yeah. Man, give me $50,000. We need $50,000, a new house. My son will come to your school. It's gotten to that point. But let me say this: it's been going on forever.
Oh, forever.
Forever.
That when people were shocked by that, like these cases getting brought up and shoe deals and Adidas doing this or Nike doing that or etc. It's like, bro, this is how business is. This is big business. This is how it's been done.
How do you think these top schools get these top players every single year? And I'm not saying everybody does shady stuff.
Yeah.
But 98. No, I'm just kidding. But you got to remember, it's the business. How do we get these kids? How does Kentucky and these schools, how do they compete with one another, right? You got to offer them something. You got to give them something.
Well, because at the end of the day, you're really cutting very fine lines, right? Like top facilities, we both have them. Like Kentucky.
What's it coming down to?
Yes, like what's it coming down to? Like,
you gave me an extra $75,000. Let me. You know what? I just want to commit to the University of.
And I'm only going to be there a year. It's like, okay, like I'll go to Kansas instead of Kentucky, or I'll go to, you know what I mean?
Come on.
The only school I will say, the only school I will say that has that extra mystique is Duke.
Duke's Duke.
They'll
Duke. Always listen. You as a top university, as a top basketball program, Coach K, the way he is, he's different, And when you say Duke, what do people say? Yeah, I'll go there. Yeah. If I got an offer, I'll go there. You know that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've always done the right thing. There could be stuff that they've done, I don't know, but they've always done the right thing, man. That's Coach K. He hasn't done this well in his life with NBA, with college, by doing the wrong thing. He continuously does the right thing, even when he's had bad years, right?
Yeah.
He's done the right thing. Man, I'll take a bad year, but I'm gonna still do the right thing. That's why I say it's the long-term stuff. People like to get under. Man, I want quick success. These coaches, man, I just got here. I got to have a good year, a couple years. I'm gonna grab a recruit over here, do some bad stuff. 3 years later, you lose everything. For what? And it kind of, I mean, that's why I want to be authentic in everything I do, not to jump off base, but with my Instagram and everything, it takes longer the way I'm doing it. But I'm building my brand. I'm building it for the long term. I want people to trust in me. I want people to believe in me. It's not like I'm just doing quick videos to get all these views.
Like some viral type.
You know what I mean? I want this long term stuff. I want people to come to me like, man, bro, you motivated me. You inspired me through your stuff. And it goes back to being authentic, like Coach K, like Duke. That's what they are. They're authentic. They're real.
Yeah. So since you went through it, through and through, through the investigation, getting suspended, playing college ball for 4 years, in your opinion, how do they fix it? Do they let players capitalize off their likeness? I think that's a no-brainer, by the way. I don't even understand how that's even a discussion.
Agree with you.
Yeah. What do you think? What's the middle ground that the NCAA and the players can meet? I can get your thoughts on that G League, that $125K thing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think?
We got to
is
give
the
them
middle
something.
ground?
You guys, I mean, people forget they're selling our jerseys. Our names aren't on the back, but our numbers are on there. We can't sell their likeliness, but I mean, you're making money. Everybody's making money, but the people that are performing,
Producing the money.
Isn't that weird? Where do they do that at?
Yeah.
Nowhere. Think about it. The coaches, the school, the NCAA,
The television, advertisers.
everybody is making money, but the people that are performing, and those are the people that should get paid. And I agree with it. There's got to be something. I don't have something that says this is what they should get monthly, blah blah. But you got to give them something. I've been in college. I mean, like we said before, you had the kid from UConn, Ryan Boatwright. Was that him that said it? That he said
you talking about he couldn't eat?
Yeah.
That was Shabazz.
Shabazz.
Shabazz said that,
I'm sorry. Shabazz talking about I can't eat. You're telling me we're bringing hundreds of millions of dollars to these universities. You can't eat? I mean, he might have been a little.
I'm sure he was eating.
Oh, he had to be eating.
Yeah,
he's at UConn. You just won a national championship. You're good.
He's trying to send a message. Like
he's sending a message.
We're struggling out here, and everybody else isn't. I made a point. I've always said this. I think the only way, and I want your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I think the only way something like that changes is if a big-time coach gets behind his players and they talk about it. And like an Elite Eight game or a Final Four game, they come out for tip and they like sit on the court. And they're like, we're not playing. Something drastic like that's going to have to happen for the NCAA to really do it. Like,
something.
Can you imagine?
Oh no, that's different.
You turn on CBS to watch the Final Four, and Duke is like, we're not playing until like collective bargaining agreement type thing. Like, we don't feel like the players are getting treated correctly. We're not gonna come out here and play.
I would love that.
Can you imagine the uproar, the dollars that would be lost?
Oh, it would turn into something. It would turn into something so big. It would turn into something so huge. But something's got to be done. Like. For me, and I agree with you, like something big has to for a change. I don't know who's going to do it just because you're basically putting your job on the line. These coaches don't want to lose their job.
Or a big-time player. Like if
Zion Williams.
Yeah, or like just like the number one pick that was he's going to go. Yeah. He's going to the league anyway.
Yeah.
He comes out in the Final Four. He's like, he pulls a Kaepernick or something and just kneels. Like, I'm not playing. The only thing about that is they would just sub for him. And he would make a little noise, and it'd be hot for a little bit, but then he'd leave, he'd go to the league, and then it'd be done. But, like, if the whole team didn't play and they were like, we're not playing.
I mean, I think, and hopefully no one steals my idea because, you know, I love creating different stuff. I never know what's going to happen. But
yeah.
So you can't talk to boosters. They don't let you talk to boosters, right? Think about that. Those are the people donating all the money to you. I want to come up with something where you can talk to the boosters. They can't give you money. They can't give you a job, right? Where you can talk to them during the seasons. Your freshman, sophomore, whatever it is, you can connect. Like they come in because they got like dinners that the boosters all attend. You know, you can talk to whatever, not talk to them, but you can. This is the season, right? This and that, but you can't do anything, right? I want something where you can come and talk to these people, and they can literally after college for the people that don't go pro, which is a lot of them. Have something set up if you want. Man, when you get out of here, this is what I like. You got 30 different boosters. What are you into? Man, I really like this. Okay, we're going to connect you with this one. When you're done with school.
Almost like a mentor type thing.
Almost like a mentor because, listen, after college, nobody cares about you. I hate to say it. Nobody. They're like, okay, cool. Unless you go to the pros, what, man, I loved watching you play, but, okay, now what's next? And as players, it goes back to what you said before. We're at the universities to play basketball. We're at the universities to play our sport. You know, and there's not, and we got to go to class. We have to go to class. We have to do all that. But are you really going to learn? Are you really doing it to be like, oh, I want to do this after college? No, you're not thinking like that. You're being like, man, I'm in the sport. I got to make sure that I'm going to class. I'm on top of my grades in order to play the sport that I love. This is why I'm here. If I have a bad game, I might get benched. If I have a bad season, I might lose my scholarship. You're not totally thinking like, I need grades, grades, grades. You have to have them in order to play. But after college, man, these players are so lost. I was lost. I tell people all the time, I was dead. I was basically dead, bro. Like, I didn't have a schedule. I didn't have anything. I've had a schedule from the age of 4 or 5 years old up till I was 24. I come back home. I don't know
what to do.
I don't know what to do. I don't have a work ethic outside of basketball. I don't. That's just being honest. I was the hardest working guy on the floor. But until I translated everything I learned from basketball into the business world, that's when I started to succeed. That's when I was like, oh, man, you guys messed up. I can do anything I want. I can achieve anything I want in business. I know I can. That's why my mindset is now is like, I'm going to get it. I lost my ego. That was the biggest thing. And before it was like, man, I'm AJ the basketball player. Like, come on. You know, like people are just going to give stuff to me because that's how it was. Right? Oh, man, hey, what do you need? You want a job? Cool, whatever, whatever. Until I started to lose my ego and I was like, I'm not really anything. I'm on the big scheme of things. I'm like an ant. I'm not shit. Excuse my language, but that's how I looked at it. And then I was like, man, these doors started opening. Instead of like people, oh man, everyone's gonna come to me and give me offers, and this, I was like, man, I want to go out and meet new people. I want to have a meeting every day. I want to have 3 meetings. That's why now, man, I check every DM. I get 200-300 DMs a day. I check every single one of them because it may be an opportunity where someone can help me, or if I can help them. And that's what it's about, man. When I lost, I'm telling you, when I was in that dark spot of not having anything, not having people, I used to wake up to hundreds of text messages a day when I was a basketball player, right? AJ the basketball player. Everybody was in love with AJ the basketball player. And now I'm having people fall in love with AJ the person. I want people to really see how I am. I've been like this my whole life. There's just a lot more cameras now. There's a lot more things that I could put it out there so people see it. You know, oh, man, AJ, he was incredible at basketball. Oh, man, I love your stuff. I love it. What about AJ the person? That's who I want you guys to fall in love with. Basketball, that's cool. It's only going to take me so far. At some point, I got to stop, right? I stopped. Those people weren't there for me that were there when I played basketball. So now it's bringing in a whole new crowd. It's bringing in a whole different audience to say, man, I'm falling in love with AJ the person. That's what I want. You motivated me. Man, if I showed you the message, you helped save my life. You did this to me. You helped me. That, you cannot put a price on that. That's why I tell people it's not about the money. I know hundreds of millionaires that aren't happy, that are miserable. It's not about the money. Stop going after the money. It's about what you love doing. You got to find something that you love doing every single morning. What is your why? I ask people, what is your why? What do you mean? Why do you wake up every morning? If you're just waking up to go put your pants on and go half-ass and do 50%, you're not living. That's why people are miserable. Why do you? Oh, man, I got to go to work. I got to go to school. They're miserable. You got to have a why. Why? What is your purpose? When I started waking up every morning, I said, I'm going to go change people's lives. I'm going to go and motivate people. I'm going to go inspire people. That's when I started living. It's not about me anymore. I got so many people that if I take a day off, if I take 2 days off, I might lose 10 or 15 people that really need my help. And you start living for others. You know what I mean? And that's my why. You got to have something to look forward to every single morning. You got to have something that you're going after every single day. I don't care if you're 20 or if you're 80. If you got goals, you're still living, right? You're still going after. And people look at me crazy. People say, man, AJ, how's your day? Man, I woke up. I'm blessed. People are like, what do you mean? I woke up. Like people take that for granted. That's my first blessing of the day. When I wake up, man, thank you. I could deal with whatever I have to deal with. Any bad stuff, man, I got this. I got this. Just keep waking me up. The moment you don't wake up, that's when you're in trouble. The moment you wake up, that's when you're like, all that stuff is gone.
You can make an impact. You can make a change. You can make a difference.
Man, you can change. If you're not happy with where you are in life, change it.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to change it but you.
Yeah. We just started talking about the NBA, and all these Chicago kids obviously want to get there. I have a question for you, and then we're going to get into the Bulls. I got a couple of questions for you
man.
on
I love
everything.
this.
Yeah. Why don't Chicago kids, and you had an opportunity to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Why don't Chicago kids, top prospects, why don't they go to Chicago schools or Illinois? Give me your take on it. I have my thoughts on it. Outside of the super blue chippers, Jabaris, like, I don't have a problem with you going to Duke.
Yeah.
But when we're losing kids to Nebraska,
I agree.
And
I agree with you.
Fucking Iowa and all types of crazy schools
That we should not
that
be
we
losing.
should no way, no how be losing to, especially with we have Illinois that's right down the road. We got DePaul right here. Even UIC. Like, that's a middle tier school. Loyola. Like, why aren't these Chicago kids going to Chicago? If you play ball in North Carolina, you're going to North Carolina, Wake Forest, NC State.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
that's a given, right?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we get these Chicago kids to stay local, go to Illinois, go to DePaul, go to Loyola, go to UIC?
I mean, I think it's something that we've struggled with
Forever.
I was going to say Sharon Collins. Where'd he go? Kansas.
Right.
John Shire, his brother's coaching there. He's got to go to U of I.
Got to.
Okay.
But okay, listen. Like, if you get put it like this. Like I was saying before, if you get a full ride to North Carolina, Duke,
you're taking those.
Like, all right, bro, go ahead and go there. I don't have any problem with you go Kentucky. Go ahead, bro. Like, you're not gonna go to DePaul. You feel me? Like, I get that.
I forgot DePaul. They got to bring. There's so I don't know. It comes
like, you feel me though. Like,
no.
Go to those big time schools.
But there's a lot of
people going to, like I said, Nebraska. They're going to TCU. Like, all types of craziness.
You got me on this one. I mean, I'm with you. Like, I don't have the answer for that. I don't know why they're doing it. And the only thing that I can say is you gotta. When I tell these kids, man, a lot of these kids want to go to that big school, right? Where you go, man? I'm going to this school, right? They don't play a minute. Everybody wants to go to the big name school. Everybody wants to go here. I had offers from California, some big schools, this and that. Yeah. I wanted to go where I could play. Yeah. I wanted to go where I could leave a legacy. When I went to UCF, we were known as football. We averaged 1,500 people my freshman year.
Shout out Dante Culpepper.
Oh man, Dante,
my guy.
I love him.
Get your roll on.
Come on, I love him.
Yeah.
We had 1,500 people at the games. My senior year, we had 10,000. We were sold out. I think it had a lot to do with Michael Jordan being at the games, but
yeah.
I mean, I called Marcus up and I said, man, I want to leave a legacy here. Like, that was my mindset. Think about it, 19-year-old kid. Like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, let me just hoop. I was like, everything I've done, I always wanted to leave it better than I found it. Whitney Young.
But doesn't the kid from Chicago want to be like, yo, I'm going to go to Illinois. They ain't done shit since Luther Head and those boys. Like, let's go. Let me get the boys from Chicago and go down to Illinois. How come they don't do that? That's almost, even you saying, like, I want to leave a legacy. Like, yo, Marcus, let's go down to UCF and leave a legacy down there. Why aren't these Chicago kids like, let's leave a legacy in the town that I grew up in and love and I'm more than likely going to come back to? Do you know what would happen if you went and balled out at DePaul?
You know how many people told me, like,
I
would have any job I wanted. I would do anything.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. And I honestly, you got me stuck on this one.
It's just recruit. It has to be.
But it goes back to what we said. Where's the bag at? Who's giving the bag? U of I might not be giving the bag. That's why do you think those guys are like, I'm okay. These guys might give me 20,000 over.
And it's funny that you say that because even if you're not giving the bag to the player, if you're not giving the bag to the inner city connected guys that are bringing players to you, like
that's
you should take a
that's
look
what
at
it's
this dude.
turned. That's
another even aspect of it.
So even from like when I played AAU, I mean it was a shaky business, you know that.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, we got Nike sponsored over here. All right, give us 50,000 for this tournament.
Right.
Man, we got 5,000 gear. We're the other 45,000. Not me personally or my team, but that I played with. But it's so bad now, man. It's like it hurts to see because all you're doing is taking advantage of these kids. And I'm not saying all the teams do it, but I mean you see it. These guys got 2 or 3 top players. They got Nike, they got Adidas, they got Under Armour at the snap of their fingers. Hey, we're going to play in this tournament. Can you pay for it? I want the whole team to have every gear that you guys got. Yep. What do you want? That's what it's been getting to, and I think it's getting even worse because these people see what they're capable of getting. It's not just like, oh man, here's a couple shoes, man. We're gonna give you 300 pairs of shoes. We'll make sure your family's good.
Their family's getting houses.
It's they suspended me 15 games. I got the most games suspended for taking $900. They said. $900. That was from high school, from a guy that was basically my dad.
Right, like he's a family friend.
Family friend. He was a second dad. Like, yes, $900. These guys now, he got a house, a car, and he got $200,000. We're gonna suspend him 2 games. Yeah. I would have taken that if I'd known that.
No doubt. Let's move over to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about the kids getting to the NBA talk. Now let's talk about the NBA. I want to play a clip that I'm gonna plug my own show on my own shit.
That's what we plug in your brand.
But pull me up.
That's what I like.
This is a clip from our last episode of me and Nick, our episode on No Catch Up Chicago. We were talking about the Bulls and Jabari and that defensive situation.
This, man, number one, like, they watch film, right? So, like, you run back a lot of these plays. Like, Jabari is sitting through that. Like, how do you justify that to your teammates that it's one thing to be a bad defensive player and just not be good at it or just not have the lateral quickness, whatever it might be, the heart, right? But to not even go after rebounds when there's 10 seconds or a minute left in the game, to not even try to play defense. Like, even the worst defenders in the league try to play D when it matters. They played D in the fourth quarter, right? You play D with a minute left when you're tied in the ball game or whatever that situation was and the team has the opportunity to go up. You play D in those situations. At that time, you're still a professional athlete. He doesn't even try when it matters. To me, that's an issue. That's a major heart issue.
That's an interesting point about watching film and everyone's in the room looking at you like.
I mean, that rebound film,
you
can't explain that.
Can't explain it.
You're not paying attention. This, man.
You can pull that down. What are your thoughts on that? Because we've been talking about Jabari, and it hurts me because this is a Chicago guy. He's offensive minded. He's come out and said that. And this will kind of, I wanted to get your opinion on this too, because you kind of went from getting buckets at Whitney Young and being a scoring point guard to you got down to UCF. And not that you weren't scoring buckets, but you added that real pesky, fiery, I'm locking up people, you're leading the conference in steals, that type of thing.
I mean, they got guys that can score. You know, I went from, like you said, I used to have 30 some games, 40 and whatever it was. When you get down there, if you don't listen to what they want, that's okay. You sit on the bench right next to me, we'll have him come in. I knew that I didn't have to score. They didn't want me to score. I could have scored. I've been a scorer my whole life. That's what I knew how to do, put the ball in the basket. But I knew in order to play, in order to succeed, we had shooters around. We had guys that were a lot better at scoring than I was. I had to find out. I had to do more. I had to do what got me there, right? I tell people all the time, you could go get scholarships. You don't have to score 40 points a game. That's like my whole thing is telling people, do the stuff that you can control, right? All these kids I go out and tell, whatever it is, only worry about the stuff you can control. What do we can control? Your leadership, being a good teammate, being the first one on the floor, the way you treat your teammates, being coachable, because all that stuff earned me a scholarship. It wasn't, oh, man, this kid's awesome. He can score a bunch of points. They got guys, that's what those top 5, 10 recruits are. So they got that.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Jabari and his effort on the defensive end? And Nick made a good point.
Yeah.
He's like, in film sessions, like how can you explain that? Like you're sitting in a room with all your teammates, and they run a clip of you giving up a rebound to Markelle Fultz, and you're literally just standing there. Or another, and it's not just one instance. This is all game long, and it comes off the back of you going into the season, basically saying they didn't bring me here to play D, and I'm not playing it.
Is that kind of what he said?
He basically was like, they didn't bring me here to play D. Like I'm here to score.
So I've watched Jabari play since 5th grade. He used to work out at Whitney Young with his dad. Like, I love that. To see him grow as a person, to see him do what he does in the city as a basketball player, I mean, I love it. I think that the defensive intensity, you got to bring it. I think that you got to find it within. Whether you're here for offense, whether you just are here to score, whatever you think that they told you, when you're a good defender, all it does is open up more for your team. It opens up more stuff for you. You get easy layups. You get easy shots. For him, I think his team's got to hold him accountable. I think they, like anything, hey, man, let's pick it up a little bit. But I think it's something that you got to do within. I don't.
What does Fred do, though? He's from the look at it,
yeah,
he's just not going to do it, man.
Right.
I'm not playing D,
right.
Period. What do you do with that?
I mean, there's something you got to figure out a way. How do you get, as good coaches, they find ways to motivate those players, right? They find something deep down in them to hey, let's get you to play.
We were talking about Thibodeau.
Let's get you, yeah.
If he saw some shit like we've been seeing, he would not. I don't care if you're making $20 million.
I agree. He doesn't care.
Team option, player option. You could sit in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like forget about even sitting at the end of the bench. You could sit. You might as well not even get dressed if you're going to come out here and play like that.
I mean, Tibbs always been like that. He's a defensive guy. He demanded that from the players, and I think that they held each other accountable for that. And I think as the Bulls create hopefully a winning culture that we can watch, that we're excited to see, I think that it'll only elevate their game. It'll only help them win more games. And it might be its first 3 games of the season. We've seen some bad stuff here and there, some off plays. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to get him, maybe he's not accustomed to it yet. Not the defense. As you can see, I'm giving a little bit more helpful tips than I should. But yeah. I just think that, I mean, you got to want it. There's nothing that can, it's like James Harden, you remember? He was the worst defender in the league. Is he still a horrible defender? Yeah, probably. But he's a lot better. And I think that, to be that great player, you can't be just great offensive. LeBron James, right? Awesome offensively. Defense, he's probably one of the best in the league, right? Yeah. All these guys who you consider some of the top players, they lock down because basketball is not just one dimension. It's not just offensive, right? Oh, you're awesome. No, when you bring that, when you think of top players, what do you think of? Offense, defense, leadership, all that stuff is what makes them great. You know what I mean? And for him to be considered one of the best in the NBA, for him to really leave a legacy, I think he's got to play that. He's got to pick that defense up. His teammates have to hold him more accountable. He's got to want to. Because all it's going to do is, guess what? It's going to open up more stuff for him. It's going to help his teammates. That's what you want to win. That's what you want to do.
You just don't want to be known as the guy that
it's bad when you. And I've played with guys like that. That are like,
comes off like you don't care.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you.
Like, there's certain players where you're like, man, he can't play any D, but he trying his ass off. He gets lost.
Just try.
He doesn't know what he's doing, but man, he's trying. Jabari's not even trying, bro. So that's why it's a little disheartening. And I said this the other day. When you're scoring 30,
yeah,
then it disappears. You can literally sit down on defense.
Very true.
It doesn't matter. But if you're going for 18 and you're making $20 million and you're not filling it up like that, you got to be trying on D, or else it's going to look really bad and people aren't going to go for that. It's not going to fly.
And especially if we were any other team, it would be cool. But since we're Chicago and our fans are so into it, we want that grit. We want that.
It's an effort city. That we love.
Just try. We like you. We love you. Come on, just give us what you got.
Joakim Noah. Let me tell you something about Joakim Noah that no one seems to talk about. Legit 0 basketball talent in his body.
Hardest working guy
ever. He couldn't play basketball a lick, bro.
Yeah.
He just was tall and he was He was just
his
the only thing he had going for him
yep.
was that he was 7 feet tall. Everything else, he ran the floor. He learned how to pass. He played D hard. The city loved that dude. We'd have done anything for Joakim Noah, bro.
I tell people all the time, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Right?
Oh, yeah,
Think about it. He was running up and down, tip-ins, some shots. Everything seemed to work his way when he was working hard. That's what happens when you work hard.
Guy's a first-team All-Pro.
First-team All-Pro.
On his resume, and he has no basketball talent whatsoever. He's horrendous at basketball. He has no athletic ability, nothing. It's all effort, all heart, all want to.
Just worry about what you can control.
All day.
That's all you got to do.
You spoke on LeBron. How do you feel about that situation out there? They're 0-3 now. I knew this was coming. They were going to have a rough go of it.
Yeah.
They're going to be like 8-12.
Yeah.
And and every game they're going to have the microscope on him. Give me your thoughts on him out there in LA and this whole narrative of the LeBron fans versus the Kobe fans. Kobe would have made those free throws the other night if he was out there, etc. How you feel about him being out there and just kind of how it's shaping up right now?
There's always going to be comparisons about LeBron, Kobe, this. Why would he do it? He's in his own lane right now. I mean, you can say what you want. He's doing what he wants. He got his kids in L.A. They're going to school. He's 15 years in. He's got movies. He's like, man, I'm living my life. I'm happy. Everybody, man, I can't believe he went to L.A. First he went to Miami. It's that man's choice, right? We're always going to say stuff regardless. If he's in Cleveland, man, he's an idiot. Why did he stay in Cleveland? He should have left. He leaves. Oh, this guy's a traitor. You're never going to be able to please everybody. That's why I tell everybody in life, you're never going to please everyone. So you got to do what you want with your life, right? Other people, oh, man, I'm doing it for this. But what are you doing for that person? It goes back to, I tell kids all the time, go to a school where you go. Your parents want you to go to here. Your friends want. They're the ones not waking up every morning. They're the ones not going to class. They're the ones not got to play on the team, right?
Yeah.
Do what you want. It's your life. I think for LeBron, I mean, you knew they were going to start off like this. I mean, people might not 0-3. LeBron's been in the finals 8 times. You think he cares about starting off 0-3?
Me and Nick talk about this. We talked about it the other day, actually, in the episode. LeBron, I think deep down, he would never say this. He's so content with his career and what he's accomplished that kind of what happens in LA is he's going to try his ass off. Don't get me wrong. But he's kind of like,
I was just thinking about that last night. That's weird that you said that.
Like you said, his sons are out there. His family's living in a little bit. They got a nice little setup. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do after hoops.
And he's already setting that up. That's why it's like.
Right.
And I thought about that last night. Like, I don't know if he cares about the championships. I could be wrong. I think this is what I think he's going to do. He's going to go number 1 in all categories. He's going to go number 1 in points. He's going to go number 1 in this. He's going to go number 1 in that. He's going to say, listen, I didn't win the championships. I'm number 1 in everything. Right? He might win. We don't know. I'm just saying, based off right now, if he retires next year, what's he have? 3 championships?
He has 3 championships.
3 championships. Yeah. You got 3 championships. You number 1 in score. You whatever. I mean, I think he's good to live. But now, say they bring Quad next year. They bring a couple of guys to LA. He gets 2 more champions. I mean, we don't know. But I kind of feel like he's just in LA. He's like, man, I'm vibing out.
If it happens, it happens. If not. I'm telling you, that's exactly his mindset.
I agree with you.
They asked him before the season started, what brings pressure on you anymore? He's like,
pressure.
What? Pressure? What are you talking about? Like, I signed a 4-year deal. What I saw was I signed a 4-year deal. I'm going to try to win. I don't win. Then cool.
It happens.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If not, I got a couple $100 million.
Yeah, right.
My family's good.
My boys are playing ball in a great program.
Come on.
Yeah. Before we jump over to these rapid-fire questions, Lakers make the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say Lakers make. I think when you have someone like LeBron James, and yeah, it's tough, but what he brings to the game, what he brings to his teammates, he elevates everyone else. He holds everyone else accountable. You see Lance Stevenson, they work harder. These guys, they're just starting to blend. You got a bunch of guys that are ready to go to war. You got a bunch of just guys that want to get down and dirty. That's what they brought in.
West
right?
is ugly, though.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you.
West
I mean, it's not going to be easy. Right. But they brought the guys in that are like, let's play some D. Let's lock down. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
They know their roles. I think they just got to get blended into them.
They got to get better on D, figure that out.
That's all. It comes. It's 3 games in. They knew this was going to happen.
All right, before I let you go,
Uh-oh.
rapid fire questions. Not even rapid fire. They're just some questions.
Give me a little, can I think 2 seconds?
Of course.
3?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about them. We're gonna go through them, no doubt. Best point guard in the league today.
Overall, just point guard?
For you, best point guard in the league.
Man. Do we consider Steph Curry point guard, shooting guard?
Absolutely, he's a point guard.
I think his play. Yeah, I'm going Steph Curry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Just what he brings to the table, his shooting, his ball handling, his getting his teammates involved, how much the guys rely on him. I think just overall point guard. But I almost like I mix him in because he's a shooting guard. Not his playmaking could be better. But like somebody that has a dog, and a lot of people don't like his game as much. He takes a bunch of shots. I love Russell Westbrook.
Oh, that's my
guy. His intensity is how I played. Like, man, move out the way. Otherwise, I'm going to knock you over. I do not care. I used to not like him as much, just how crazy his shots were.
That's my dog.
Dude.
Erratic,
right. I'm like, okay, but his passion, he's like, man, I could compete with anybody. I'm the best out here.
Got that erratic but confidence.
Right. No, exactly. That's what it is. That's that confidence. But if I got to pick one, I don't know, I'm going between.
It's hard not to go with Steph. I mean,
no, it just because of what he's done. But like overall point guard, I feel like Westbrook is just because he's got the ball in his hands all the time. He's more. When I think of point guard, I think of playmaking. I don't think of a lot of shooting. You know, point guards get their teammates the ball. They make the shots that they have to. But it's not more. Steph Curry's more of a shooting guard to me, which people are like, no, not really.
I got a hot take, or to me, it's not hot at all. Yeah. But I say that Rajon Rondo is the purest point guard of all time.
Yep, I agree with that.
I mean, there's obviously John Stockton, there's Jay Kidd in there.
Yeah.
But with my own 2 eyes, I've never seen someone control a game and the pace and do whatever he wants at any time like Rajon Rondo.
He does what he wants. He gets where he needs to be.
He's a point guard's point guard.
He'll take 2 I love his game because he'll take 2 shots. You know what I mean? Not saying that he's a great shooter, that he can't shoot, but he understands what he brings to the table. He knows if I get my teammates involved, I get to the basket here and there, we can win. He's a winner.
People forget those Boston Lakers series.
Come on.
He controlled everything with KG.
He made them
Paul
go.
Pierce. He would slow the game up. He would speed it up.
Totally agree.
He did
Totally
everything.
agree. Totally agree. Totally
Rondo is a point guard. I love that dude. All right.
Have you ever seen his hands? Not to get off.
Huge.
Like
Enormous.
four of mine put together.
Yeah, like him and Kawhi.
Yeah.
Crazy hands.
Insane.
Like the ball just disappears type
It's like
thing.
a tennis
They're
ball.
playing with a tennis ball, basically, yeah. Favorite point guard of all time. Favorite. He doesn't have to be the best.
AI. Man, I got
questions.
I got to hang out with him like 4 or 5 months ago. Hung out with him the whole day. Just he did some autograph signing.
He's a regular dude, seems like.
Man, he's beyond regular. He's just wants to chill. Like it was for me growing up. That's what I wanted to be like. I mean, it was AI. He was small. The crossovers. I grew up watching him, and to be able to be around him and kind of just vibe with him and laugh with him, like. You just realize like these are human beings.
Regular dudes.
People forget that. Like you say this crazy stuff to them and they say something back like, he said that? Yes, he's human. What if somebody said that to you, or what if somebody did that to you?
Yeah.
And not to get off topic, but I mean, yeah, he's my favorite point guard of all time. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like him. You know what I mean? It's like
5'11",
crossovers. I had the sleeve.
Everything, the
I wear the
bucket.
headband. I mean, I was nowhere close to him, but I wanted to. Everything I did, I mimicked him.
Yes, sir. All right, pull me up real quick.
Uh-oh.
I got some of these IG shots we got to talk about.
Oh, come on, bring
Let's
them up.
go. I got some.
You're
of these.
plugging me so much today,
We
man.
need to talk about some of these.
Pull
Hold
them
on.
up.
That's the whole IG page, but
So, buddy,
this is crazy, by the way.
I'll be honest with you. So, I have the video. I wanted to shoot 11 half-court shots, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to see. So, the first time I get 7 out of 11.
Let me run this before we talk
Go
about
ahead.
it real quick.
Let's get it.
Like, cut it out, bro. Just pure 5 in a row from 40 feet.
So, I'm going to tell you this. This is my...
Like, how many takes is that?
That was my third time.
That was your third time.
Honest to God. So, like I said, I wanted to do out of 11, right? So, first one we hit 6 or 7, whatever it was, 7 out of 11. Next one, we got a little bit. And then the third one, the first 5 I hit. So, I'm like, man, I'm stopping. Like, I wanted to cut it. I didn't want to shoot the other shots. 5 in a row from half court. Like, I just,
Right.
1, 2.
Oh, dude.
So, I made it. So, I was like, 5, I'm done. Like, that's all I wanted to take. I was done
Yeah.
after that. But people look at it, man. And I still got people. The thing was, I brought people into the Instagram by doing trick shots, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, everywhere I went, like, man, how did you edit that? Then I had to tie in, like, no, I'm a real hooper. I've done the trick shots my entire life.
Right,
Like in
just
college,
messing around.
I used to walk around the catwalk, Raptors, throw it down behind the like. There's one that you'll see at UCF. We were filming for President Hit, which
Yeah.
was our president at the time. We were joking around, right? 3 times it take, man, happy or whatever, happy birthday, President Hit. I throw it backwards, goes in. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing this my entire life, and I had to bring people, I had to show people, like, no, I've done this. Like, I'm a basketball player.
Yes.
And people just see the trick shots. They're like, man, this is all edited. Not one of
Nah.
my videos is edited. Like, this is real.
Right.
This is real.
Pull this back up, Aaron. First off, if you're from Chicago, you should know where you're at right now.
Yeah.
This is Stewart Park.
Super Park.
This is one of the worst kept basketball courts in the city, not even close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the court is uneven.
Right.
There's dust. There's dust everywhere. I mean, if you're running a full court run at Stewart Park, you know how bad this court is. Like, how many takes is that?
That might have been 5.
Yeah, like,
That might have been, 5 or 6.
that's crazy.
The
Then
one,
I couldn't find the other
are you
one.
able to pull up?
I could pull up anything.
I want you to pull up one. That's kind of the one, like, Shaq retweeted it.
Yeah.
Let me catch move over here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like,
Watch
that's
out.
kind of the one that, I won't be wrong. That's the one that, like, people were like, wait, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's the one that went viral. That's the one that everyone was just
Because
like, is this
that
real?
that was crazy. Like, and there's one where you hit a half quarter at Stewart Park,
Yeah.
where you're like, yo, if you've hooped outside, you know how impossible
Right.
this is. It's hard to hit a jump shot at Stewart Park.
So this is the one. Pull this one up.
Yeah, just click on it.
Click on.
Yeah.
So this is the one, like, kind of everyone went kind of crazy with it. And I reposted it, but I put it up a couple months ago. And, yeah, Shaq retweeted it. Everyone just went nuts with it. Watch the walk-off, though.
Like, how many takes is that?
That one might have been 9 or 10. 8,
Yeah,
9 or
like,
10. And it's crazy. People are like, how long do you take? Like 300 times, 400? I'm like, I honestly don't. It takes me a couple times to throw it to like get that distance.
Yeah, just figure out
This
the
is
distance.
this is a little lucky. Look, think about it. I'm throwing it, but my accuracy is so crazy. Like, think about that.
Yes.
That's perfect. I walk away like I'm not even looking.
Yeah, it's silliness.
It's silly, and people are like, how? It's just spending hundreds of hours in the gym, weekly when I was a kid. Like, this is all I used to do.
This is just what you do, like, at the end of pickup. At least when I was
Right.
No, you just fuck around.
Man, take it. Where's the video at? Let's see if I can make
Yeah,
this one.
let's see
All
if
right.
I can make this one.
Then I
Like,
get so competitive. I'm like, all right, wait, no, I have to get this one. I want to get this one. Make sure we get this till we get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because, yeah, I mean, some of those are crazy. But make sure you go follow the boy on Instagram. Tons of motivational stuff. Tons of great content. Fun, serious, just fun life, all that type of stuff, man. Make sure you give my guy a follow.
I appreciate that.
Before I let you get out of here, talk to me about Ticket Score.
Yeah.
What is it? How does it work? I got the website right here.
Man, I appreciate it. So,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, as an entrepreneur, I'm just getting in the hang of business. Like,
Yeah.
I want everything, and I'm learning to be patient. Ticket Squad partnered with an older guy, a buddy of mine that I've known probably for 5 or 6 years. Love the idea of it. You're able to put a weekly amount towards the team. So right now, let's talk football, right?
Yeah.
Click on NFL, you'll see. So every week you're able to put a weekly amount towards a team or your favorite team that you think will go to the Super Bowl.
Where am I?
You see right
Oh, yeah,
NFL.
I'm tweaking. Yeah.
No, you're good. Click on that. I'm gonna kind of walk you through it. So who's your team?
The Bears, baby.
So click on Bears right now. Go to the right. Yeah. So right now they're at $44 a week.
Yeah.
So you buy in right now $44 a week. If the Bears go to the Super Bowl, you get Super Bowl tickets at $44 a week.
Yeah.
Say the Bears lose 2 more games, you're like, man, they're not going to the Super Bowl. You could cancel at any time, right?
Oh, interesting.
This is for all the fans. We gave the fans a chance to actually go to that big game, the Super Bowl, the championship. Most people can't fork up $7,000, $8,000 for tickets. It's so expensive.
crazy.
Think
Yeah.
about it. And whoever does, their wives or their girlfriends aren't letting them, like, you spent $7,000 on tickets. But if you're able,
And the game's in Miami?
if you're like no, and
nah.
play no, this doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But if you're able to put a weekly amount towards the team, you think we're taking 90% off tickets. You know what I mean? It comes out to whatever it is, $44 a week times 13 weeks. It's a lot lower.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that we've done is it's a futures market, so you could trade your options. Say you bought in the first 2 weeks to the Rams, right? They're 6-0.
Yeah.
They were probably maybe $25 buying in. Now go on the Rams, you'll see it. It might be $78.
Right.
You trade those options, you might just make a couple $100 just by doing that.
So you could pass it off to someone else.
Pass those off to somebody else. So we teamed up with Ticketmaster. We teamed up with TickPick. We teamed up with Fanatics, which Jeff, who's a good buddy of mine, I've reached out to him, and he's done incredible things.
Fanatics is all over. Their own. I love the owner. I can't remember his name.
The guy that does with the Philly.
Yeah,
with
he's
Philadelphia.
ruthless, dog.
He's one of my favorites.
He's ruthless.
He's one of my
bro.
favorites, and
Yeah.
I met Jeff, who's with Fanatics, through a buddy of mine that opened Tao, and
Okay,
they brought me to one of the Cubs events for what's the first baseman? I can't even think right now.
Tony
Rizzo.
Yeah.
He has a cancer foundation or event because he had cancer.
Yeah.
He gives back to him. So I went there. They brought me there, and they introduced me to this guy Jeff. That's like the head guy at Fanatics. He does a bunch of stuff with them. I've been like one of the top people. He's like my son went to UCF. He used to watch you. It was just a weird vibe.
Yeah.
Like a good vibe.
It's a connection.
Just crazy connection. How it
Yeah.
happened. So I told him with this, I was like, man, we're doing this ticket score thing. It could be really big. I want you to be a part of it. He's like, man, tell me what we have to do. So we partner with them. I think it's just something like we've only been doing it for 4 months. You got to get it out there once people really understand. Like you go to the website, you're kind of like, okay, cool. Until you really realize like, oh
Yeah,
wow,
the opportunity.
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
At any time, say you might lose out on 2 weeks. Oh, you buy in now, your team loses 2 more games. You're like, you know what, I'm going to cancel. You lose $80, but you might have a chance to go to the Super Bowl where you're saving $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a ticket. And then you're able to trade your options. Man, I want to trade my options. I'm going to trade for this one. I can switch up teams, whatever. I just made money. I just made $350. You can always trade your options.
Yeah.
So it's like anything, man. I'm just trying new stuff. I'm trying different things. I want to get out there and just build brands, man. Build businesses. And I told you, it's like nothing's gonna stop me. I could fail 100 times. I fail every day. My mindset though is made up. Like, you're not gonna stop me.
This is what we're gonna end it on. Because
End it.
I saw this quote and I thought about you. It's an old Gladiator quote.
Ooh.
It's called "Brave in the Attempt." And I guess gladiators used to go into battle and they would say, "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt."
I like that.
And I was like,
I like that.
that's strong. Like, these dudes are about to fight to death. And it's like, I want to win. And I'm going to go try to win.
Yep.
But if I don't win, just let me be brave in the attempt to go get it. And I loved that. I thought that was dope. Oh, before we get out of here, talk about this Hooping for Peace.
I told you, I love the city of Chicago. Grew up here. I want to help as many kids as I can. I do a lot of stuff with the Boys and Girls Club. My main thing is just focusing on the youth, focusing on the next generation. We need it. They need it. City of Chicago needs it. Hooping for Peace. I just had my 2nd annual Hooping for Peace last week. A mother lost her son due to gun violence, working on his car. Great kid, mentored kids, did a lot, played basketball, played football. And I met her. It's so weird. I met her at Restaurant Depot probably 4 or 5 years ago. Just super nice to me every single day. Hey, what's up, AJ? And we had such a good connection. And, you know, I went in there and one of the guys told me, oh, man, she lost her son. And 22 years old, 21 years old. I'm like, best friends with her. So that hit me at home. You know, the mom's the best friends with son. Like, that reminds me of my mom. Me and my mom are best friends. If something ever were to happen to me, I would want somebody to do that for my mom. I would want somebody to help not only the community, not only the city of Chicago, but my mom. And I think that, you know, people get so caught up in money and this and that. Like, it doesn't cost anything. If you gave this mom $5 million, she might be like, oh, that's awesome. It's not going to take away her pain. It's not going to take away what she lost. And so we came together, and I was like, I reached out to her. I was like, I want to do something for you. Like, what do we do? What if we have a camp? You know, I know basketball. I love basketball. What if we do a free camp on the south side? We'll let all the kids come. And it's kind of just how it started. And we've been on it. I told her, like, I want to do this every year. Last year, we might have had 10, 15 people. This year, we had 100-something.
Cool.
In our 2nd year.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to shed light, not only on these kids' life, but if I'm able to shed light towards a mom where she might not see a lot of positives with something so bad that happened, and every day is just a different day. You know, it's hard. It's not like, oh man, you know, they'll be back in a couple weeks. They're gone. Yeah. And I love seeing people happy. I love shedding light where there might not be a lot of light, and just obviously giving back. And if I'm able to do it, I know that the one event's not going to change the whole city. And, you know, people are like that. Like, oh, man, you know, why are you doing it? Are you just doing it for – man, I don't care about that stuff. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm going to do it for the people that care. And if I could put a smile on their face, if I can put a smile on these kids' face and give them a day where it's fun and games, like we're doing a camp, we're doing raffles, there's free food, there's just go out and have fun. You can't put a price on that. And I tell people all the time, you don't measure someone's success by how much money they have. You measure someone's success by how many people they help, by how many people they inspire. And to end off this note, like, people look at me crazy. When I die, if I die with a bunch of money, what's that do? That does nothing. I'm dead. When I die, I want people at my funeral to be like, man, I remember AJ helped these 10 kids. I remember AJ helped me get out of this spot. I remember AJ did this. Like, that's how you measure someone's success. That's how you measure a legacy. That's how you leave a legacy, is by doing more, is by making people feel special, by changing people's lives. If you die with a bunch of money, what'd you do? You didn't accomplish anything. You might have had a bunch of success that you did personally, but you're dead now. That's why I'm like, man, I want to give back. I want to inspire. I want to go out there every single day and do whatever I can to inspire other people, to motivate people. That's how you measure someone's success. The money's going to come. There's trillions of dollars in the world, right? Everybody's so focused. I got to get money. I got to get this. Money's going to come. Go find something you're passionate about. Go find something that you love doing. I guarantee you the money's going to come and you're going to be happy. A lot of people, oh man, I got to get the money. It'll come.
There you
do
go.
What you love, man.
Hooping for Peace. Follow AJ Rompza it's right here on the board at A Rompza 3.
It's simple.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
On IG.
We motivating all day, every
Hooping
day.
for peace. We motivating. We doing trick shots. Hey, man. Thank you for coming
Man,
through.
are you kidding me? I
An
appreciate
absolute
it.
blast, man.
Please let me
Definitely.
know when I can come back in. I love this setup.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, for AJ Rompza, I'm your host, Sean Little. No Catch Up Chicago Field Level Edition. Follow us everywhere. You know what time it is. No Catch Up Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. Listen up. That was fire.
Chicago everything.
Chicago everything.